Hey,
Hello.
welcome. This feels like old times.
Yeah, like back in the days.
Back in the days.
We're live on Twitch.
You've gotten too big, too big. He's doing on bigger and better things. But hey, first let's just intro. Welcome everybody to Designing Adobe XD, and here I have with me my favorite guest slash co-host, Michael Chase.
Hi everyone. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Super excited by this show, live every Friday.
Every Friday.
PM. The opportunity to chat with the XD team and with Talin, the father of XD.
Yes, the lead designer for Adobe XD.
And lead designer.
Here we are.
Yeah.
You know, just looking at that
yeah. Mirek says it's a host versus host. Yeah, that's a new concept.
this is it. This is the design
I'm
challenge.
hosting Talin and he's hosting me.
Yes, we are. This is just that's how it goes. Yeah. And you know, I'm really actually when Michael just like gave me the word that he had some time to join today, and it made me excited because today, without like I thought we could do something because I've been really wanting to do, and it was something that we did on some of our early streams. Actually, one of the first 3-day UX-a-thons. Michael was the host and I was the guest that time, and we decided, well, what are we going to design? And we decided to actually design a new feature for XD live on the stream.
Yeah, live. And also taking your input. So we will ask you questions. Feel free to engage. I see that Aptin is already chatting.
Yeah.
He's making a point like saying that the Mac version has some menus like file edit when it's not on Windows. I think that's Windows. But there is a way to access them, no?
There is. So
there is a menu button on Windows, I think.
Windows doesn't have, I mean, this is really getting deep, but Windows doesn't have like a menu bar. They have this hamburger menu concept that they Adobe applications. And it is very true. In the Mac does have more menus and sub-menus if you're kind of into that thing in the Windows build. But the Windows build should have...
They are menus, but it's not like file. It's just Windows.
It's just
this
Windows.
way. But I'm sure it's there.
Hey, what's up, Kevin? What's up,
Kevin?
Mirek, Derek, Shivani? Welcome, guys. Matthias, always great to see you in. Abraham, thanks for joining us. So the really, again, that was one of the most exciting things I think I've ever done working on Adobe XD was designing a feature like live with other designers and like getting their feedback in real time. And like the fact that we were able to design, actually publish a prototype directly in XD and then like get everybody's feedback, like that was amazing. Like there was so much energy in that, and I was like, only I'm like this is something that only Adobe XD actually lets me do, to design in this way and really, you know, design at the speed of thought, you know.
And that's cool. And I've just slacked our friends on the Adobe XD Slack.
Oh, yes.
Saying, hey,
yes,
I'm live with Talin. Join me now.
Yeah.
You know? Get
more people in here. Let's, you guys.
Let's start the party.
What should we design? I have an idea of something.
Yeah, maybe you should share your idea.
Yeah, I'm just kind of tossing.
It's a cool
around.
idea.
Yeah. So I love tools that are really tailor-made to help me as a designer, like achieve something great.
Okay.
Right. Like there's something help me get and design at the speed of thought. And so one of the ideas that I've been kind of like kicking around in my brain for a while is, you know, today I love the repeat grid. I love that I can, you know, lay something out very quickly, and then I can drag and drop some images or some text like right in my design. But there's still this part of that process where like I have to go out and find all those images before I drag and drop them in. I have to go out and find all that content.
It takes time, huh?
Right before I drag it in.
When you prototype, you want to make it visual. Like it really takes time.
Like I want my design to look good like from the minute I get up and going on it. Again, I don't have to worry about like going out and finding all that stuff. Like I just need to get the design going, you know, again, because sometimes I'm designing maybe a product or a service that is meant to showcase others' work, you know, and so I don't have to worry about all that. So can I have something inside of XD that just, if I have anything selected, just connects me to
like an access to a catalog of pictures?
Yeah.
That would be fun. I see Lucian joining. I see Cindy. They were like Olivier also. They were great participants of the XD Daily Creative Challenge.
Yes, they were.
They were amazing.
We reviewed Olivier's portfolio yesterday.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I like his avatar.
So that's the idea. And if only we had a great source of images.
Pictures.
Source of images here at Adobe.
Adobe Bridge. No. There is something.
There is. Stock.
Oh, yes.
That's where you would find great looking images for your design.
And what I love with stock, someone said, Jonathan is like, stock.
He's got it.
We were kidding. And what I love with stock is that also, like in your prototyping phase, you don't have to license the pictures. Like you can keep the watermark and it still makes sense visually, you know. And if you want to have a clean prototype for a customer, then you can license. So you still have the choice. That's why I like respecting the work of the photographers. That's cool.
Definitely. So yeah, so that's the idea. Okay. What do you think about that idea? Again, connecting you to great imagery and content right inside in XD. Just bringing these worlds together.
So yeah, and what is interesting for me is also to see that, because you also it would be good like just to like what's the word, like testify. Oh my god. What's the word? You know, like experience what you will be doing, like just behind the scenes. How Adobe XD
give you a little bit how we design a feature.
They say love it, bring it. Okay,
bring it.
So I think we can start.
I think this is a good concept to go with. Again, like if you do have an idea for a feature, and we're not going to design today, make sure to go check out our user voice forum. AdobeXD.uservoice.com.
We'll put the link in the chat.
Put the link in the chat. And again, if you've got a great idea for a feature, we love to hear that. Go to user voice, submit your feature, vote on other features. So again, like this isn't like the only chance to see me design like a feature like live. Like this is just something that I've been thinking about. So go check that out if you have a request. But today, let's talk about. I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit like how I and the team approach any design problem, any new feature, right? So I've kind of just put together a little deck, to talk about some of that. So where do you start, right, with designing a new feature? Listen, we start with a lot of places. We go out and we talk to designers, we talk to them on stream, we use user voice. But of course, once we have that idea, like, do we just like stick a new icon into the UI? Do we just stick a new panel? Then, like, I feel like we're not being contextual. We're not being as sort of streamlined in that way. So these are some high-level principles that I like to talk about or at least focus on when I'm designing new features. And the first one really is that it's about the workflow. It's not about the feature. It's not about one individual feature. It's about how maybe a couple features work together, right, in an experience inside the application. XD is already a very complex application. So we don't want to just like
very easy to learn though.
Yes, and that's we want to keep that.
Okay.
Right. When we add a new feature, we want to make sure it has a place inside of your workflow in XD. Right. So that's kind of step one. Okay. I like to say like, okay, put that feature into a story for me inside of the application.
Yeah, instead of saying, okay, I need an access to Adobe Stock, so I would just build a panel and display Adobe Stock.
Yeah,
which is something you could do.
You can do that,
but it doesn't solve the workflow. It doesn't add any value to the workflow,
and it doesn't actually help onboard people into that work. Like one of the things that like if we just added, say, like a button to just a stock panel, like. We can just leave it there, and if we didn't tell people how to use it or what it's for,
say open your browser and drag and drop the pictures.
It's like, well, some people might use it, some people might find it, others won't. Again, we want to make sure that this UI, this feature is valuable enough that we want everybody to use it. So, how do we sort of tell a story about how you should use this and when you should use this in your workflow? It's a big part of like how we do that. And the other one is that we like to really focus on the outcomes.
Okay,
like. What is the user trying to make? And let's show that, and let's shoot for that. And then that means that helps us kind of organize our thoughts and our work and our priorities and how we go and tackle it. Because if we can't help that designer sort of achieve that great outcome, then we haven't hit the mark. And I kind of think about Repeat Grid was like the first one. Like when we first were designing Repeat Grid, we could have taken this very simple idea kind of anywhere. But what we did is we really said, no, we want to use this feature to design. It was the Twitter feed in minutes. So every time we tested that feature, if we couldn't do that, if we couldn't achieve that goal of designing the Twitter feed in minutes, again, images and text and multiple objects and shared styles and all these things, and if we couldn't do that ourselves, then we hadn't done it. We hadn't made it yet. Okay. We had to go back, keep working, right? So that was kind of one of the other things. And then, of course, I just mentioned it like the end. We're constantly testing, right? We're constantly sort of testing and getting feedback, and this is really kind of encapsulate like the core of like how we go about designing any new features in XD.
Awesome.
So we've got this idea of accessing stock, right, inside of XD. But when Michael, like as you're designing Like, when do you start thinking about images and content in your design? Like, what part of your workflow? Like, do you just start drag and dropping images onto your canvas, or do you start drawing your layout first? I mean, that can maybe be a simple way for us to start.
If I drag images, like, it's more to get a mood board, you know, and just keep a reference. But then, like, using the images in context, I would start with the layout.
Start with the layout. Right.
So I would start with the basic structure, maybe a grid. I would have like placeholders elements, and then I would like to find the right picture to put in a placeholder element.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that like I think about. Like, I need the structure first. Right?
Lucas says sticky things. We need sticky things.
Sticky things
coming very soon, Lucas. We sneaked it already.
Yes,
sticky is coming.
Indeed, it's in this build. Yes, fixed elements coming soon. All right. So you know, here this is kind of cool. This is actually kind of our wireframey kind of placeholder UI that we as a team use when we're starting to design new features.
Inside XD.
Exactly. This is designing XD inside of XD. Ooh. So we got a wireframe version of XD's UI, you know, actually here on this artboard. Again, this is kind of, and we use this to kind of, you know, build like proposal decks for new features.
Okay.
Right.
That's
so
awesome.
That's kind of cool.
That's neat.
A little behind the scenes. I guess, Lucas, it is actually coming, and if I actually just sort of show you right here in the UI.
This is a checkbox that you don't have.
You don't have it yet, but you will.
You will very soon.
Fixed elements coming very soon. Yeah, this is Kaylee. This is
exciting.
Like yeah, this is super exciting.
And this is so meta. Yeah,
it's so meta. This is like it's like spin the top in Inception. Like, I don't know where like anymore. Where like XD begins and the design begins, like, and ends. Like, I have multiple builds. You guys can see this. I have multiple builds on my machine. Like, it gets crazy. It gets crazy. So, hey, Madeline, thanks for joining us. All right, so we have a rough artboard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a square, like a box on here. Let's say we're doing kind of an editorial style layout here.
Okay.
And so I'm just going to have really this placeholder. Like, this is like a box that you know that you would draw. Yeah, maybe it's a picture, right? Like, I think that's what my intent would be here.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it look like it's selected here on the canvas. And now, again, like, what I was thinking is that, you know, I want direct. One of our other principles is sort of direct interaction. We want as much to happen kind of like on canvas or around where you're actually working as possible, right? And so one idea I was kind of thinking about, and again, we have very little time, so I wanted to, you know, I did a little bit of thinking on this in the future. I mean, before I started the stream, like, what if when I had something selected and there was nothing inside of it, there was no fill, it was empty. What if it was almost like this little actionable icon to sort of kick off a workflow to go find an image was actually right on the object?
Oh yeah,
you know,
so you don't have to like. Go to a specific panel or a toolbar.
Yeah,
you're already there.
Yeah. Okay. What do you guys? I mean, let us know what you think. But we're gonna jump right into it. So
I like contextualization.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. So what if we just started by like putting like a little like button here?
It has to be blue.
It's got to be blue.
In XD, it's blue.
It's got to be blue. And maybe it's just a little. Let me just put a little stand-in plus here. And this might not be descriptive enough. I think like this is very placeholdery, but I think it's getting the idea across. Like, there's nothing here. Why don't you go and put something here? So I made a little icon here. Okay, a little plus.
Okay.
All right. So on everything now, what I'm sort of setting up is now everything that I have selected in XD would have this little plus icon on it.
Okay, and that would be the first step, right?
Yeah, that would be the first step.
If you say, okay, I want a fill color, then maybe the plus disappears.
Plus disappears?
Okay,
yeah,
so
definitely.
You draw a basic box, and you have an action item.
Yep. Maybe we also put something somewhere else in the UI to kind of complete the story. Maybe, and we'll try other ideas. Okay. Again, this could be one idea. There could be other great ways to do this. Because, yeah, maybe every box doesn't need an image.
Well, I like it because it could be also only in the design view, but then if you run the preview, you don't see the... Yeah. Of course, you don't see the plus anymore. You know?
This is just a decoration. This is actually, again, I'm designing XD's UI
because
on top
it's selected.
Because selected, exactly.
Cool.
So for the next step, I'm just going to copy over this to tell the next part of our story. Okay, So every object, actually, I sometimes even put little notes here to help me out, to help maybe even if someone's viewing this prototype.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, every object has the plus icon when it is selected. So I just like to, you know...
Yeah, Kaylee is like, oh, we should be able to toggle that on and off. So actually the selection will toggle it down.
Yes,
And if you select something else, then the plus disappears.
Exactly. So we said, and this kind of helps maybe give a little wayfinding.
Yep.
I like to include a little note there. All right. So what happens when I click, maybe when I click that plus? What should happen? You guys... So our idea is that we want to go and just connect you to
content, right?
to stock, right?
Yeah. I mean,
do we launch the website? Do we? Is that too removed? Right? Because then I have to download it and drag it back in, or
maybe it's too removed.
Yeah, a little too removed. What does the chat think? What should happen next? So our goal is to get a really beautiful image in here from Adobe Stock. Any thoughts there? I mean, we could
because launching the website, actually, you would lose the link with this object.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you would like have to get the image and drag and drop it back on the object.
It would be fine, but it wouldn't be any better.
That's what I
than it
do
is
today.
Yeah,
that's what I do today. So yeah. So maybe
we just
I like the idea of like staying close.
Yep.
You know, like I have my mouse, I just click on the plus button. So I want something that is
just right there
nearby.
Oh,
so I don't have to go in the panel.
I like that. Let's do that. Let's draw.
Oh, Dirk say maybe an image carousel. Yeah. That's fun actually.
You know what this makes me think about? And actually, it's one of my favorite. Of course, if you guys follow me on Twitter, it's one of my favorite parts of.
You should like real fun.
I use this a lot. You'll see. So I love that here when I'm composing a tweet, you can just add a GIF.
Yeah. Use it a lot,
right? I just a bit, right? And so it
has categories. That's
right,
interesting.
and it has this little carousel, like this little contextual
like keywords
thing.
that people I guess search a lot.
Yeah,
It's not here by,
and it's right here in context, so that I know when I go and right, I can see a preview now, like in that category, and then I can add it, and it's automatically added to my tweet. That feels very like.
I like that. It's like 2 clicks.
Yeah.
Can you go back?
Yeah, let's go back.
And can you add your own keyword if really like? Oh yeah, and you can add your own if you type Adobe, for instance.
Well, let's see what happens.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
There's some Adobe stuff.
There's some Adobe stuff right there. Ooh, look at the little dock icon. Oh, recursive Photoshop. This is the best. That's what my this is.
Yeah, that's your life.
This is what my life feels like as a designer. There you go.
Meta.
We're getting really meta today. So I like I think that's a great suggestion. Like something that feels like really contextual.
Yeah.
Like right on there. Okay. So let's just add a little. Let's do a little floating dialogue here.
And this is something you feel that the current XD architecture would allow? Like if you ask the developers to do that, they would say, no problem.
So today, actually that's a really good point. Is like today, like looking at the ways in which we use UI conventions and patterns, you can see right here in the color picker.
Oh yeah.
I have this little contextual popover window.
It's true.
Right? So seems like we could just fill that with something else. We could call that over here.
I like this actually. Just remind that it's connected to this. Like maybe this is something you could use.
I think we need to quickly do that. Yes, indeed. Let's do that.
Just to say, because if you have like 2 or 3, placeholders like behind you, at least it just reminds you that this action is connected to this one.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do one. Of course, I love this Pathfinder, so good. And I'm gonna put a little shadow on this because again, I'm sort of these have a little shadow on them, a little blur.
That helps.
Right, give a little separation here.
Yeah.
Darken that up a little bit. There we go. That kind of makes that pop a little bit. All right. So that's what's. So let's kind of key off that Twitter thing real quick. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do kind of a search field up here.
And you don't need a submit button. I think as you type, it will just refresh.
It should just refresh. Yeah. And then we're going to, of course, being very meta. This is exactly.
Dirk has a good idea for the version 2.
Voice search. I love that. We
love this vision.
I love this. Yeah, I love this. And of course, here we are getting meta again. I'm going to have to fill this to make our prototype feel real. Okay. And I would love this feature when I'm doing this, of course, getting super meta. I'm going to use the repeat grid here to just toss this little grid in here of images that we're gonna. This is our kind of like category, maybe our category browser here for Twitter. Mm-hmm. Let's shorten that a little bit. Okay. So there we. That's looking pretty solid. Mm-hmm. All right. It might be a little small, but let's. It's the right idea, right? It's the right workflow. It's very contextual, right? It's going to help me do exactly what I want to do when I want to do it, and then I can just quickly grab an image and.
But again, it's a category. So you remember, like categories, you only have rectangles.
Yep.
And then when you start like digging in.
Yep.
It will show you like portrait, landscape. It will create like a matrix, but that is not like a table.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Like,
totally.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm actually going to add to this because we do want this to sort of be our category sort of.
Yeah. Is there a way to add it to? Here we go. How did you do that?
So I did that. So I had it outside of the repeat grid.
How do you put it inside?
I just copied it, and when I paste it, it's going to place it in the exact same position. And then I clicked into the repeat grid.
Enter, you double click to go in the item, and then you paste.
I could have also been inside the repeat grid group and just added some text directly, and you can see it actually adding in real time.
Okay, that's cool.
One of my favorite features. Again, the reason we can do shapes and text and images is because, again, our goal with the repeat grid was to design the Twitter feed. Yeah. So it actually defined the features.
Thank you, Twitter.
Yeah, that would actually define the features that were, that made up repeat grid. So, okay, so we've got our category names here. We're gonna darken that up just a little bit so we can see those. All right, that's feeling very Twitter-like. That's feeling like our inspiration here. So now, of course, what we need to do is exactly what we want this feature to do. I actually went and grabbed a bunch of images from stock. Again, this is our direct connection to Adobe Stock. Like, this is gonna be browsing Adobe Stock. So I went and I actually got some images from Adobe Stock and put them in a Creative Cloud library.
Oh, okay.
That's a really great feature, right? If you go on to Stock today, that helps shorten the gap a little bit, right? Yep. You can just add these images rather than downloading them, just add them to a library, and I've done that. So I'm gonna drag and drop images in here to my repeat grid to start kind of showcasing kind of like my different categories that I want to sort of show off here.
Oh, did you go on the text?
Oh, I think that's because that one's a vector. I think that's what happened.
Oh, yeah. So it's rendering the...
Let's try that again. There we go. That's what we wanted. Go here, grab nature. Oh, this is the nature category. And then we've got a design category. So again, I went and grabbed some images. Again,
Hi, Bushy. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Hey, Tung. Did you say how you
anyone?
Say
yeah, Tung, like anyone in Toronto. Yeah, you will see. We're live from San Francisco.
Yeah, we are. Okay, so we're starting to get some of our categories here. So I'm just going to go in here and customize these a little bit. Just again, a little more, make it feel a little more real. Abstract, nature, design, and of course we go on and we would do some more, eventually to cover more categories, more broad categories that are available on Adobe Stock. All right, so that's kind of like step 2 of our workflow. Okay, so now what would our next step be? So would we want to? We could either click on one of these categories and go see more.
Yeah.
Or we could search as well. Let's show the category flow first. All right.
Yeah, we have to choose. We have about 5 minutes.
Yes, we have to be. Again, part of I think part of that's one of the things I like to tell like designers is that part of actually like getting better at design is being able to make faster decisions, and you do that through experience, right? So again, I'm working very quickly. I've designed a lot of features in XD. I've designed a lot of things in my career so far. So yeah, me and Michael and I, we can keep this thing clicking here. So we're gonna have our little category term sort of show up here automatically as our search term.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Okay.
So then we're gonna go in and we're gonna take that away.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go back to my library, and I had a bunch more fashion images. We're gonna click on the. So say we're making an editorial, like fashion page, and I'm going to grab these, except for that one, and just drag and drop those in. Boom!
Here we go.
Look at that.
That was fast.
All right, all right. So then from here, we're going to choose one. Which one should we choose, Michael?
Fashion. Let's take this one.
We'll take that one. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, of course, we would show our next state of our prototype.
You select the picture.
I would actually, I think you should just, drop right in there. Like, this is so easy to do.
You selected it.
Yeah, you clicked on it. You should just add it there. So I've already got that square up. So let me pop it back over to my library. Drag and drop.
That was this one.
Boom. There you go. Okay, let's prototype. Let's wire this up.
Prototype because, and let's say that you have to pitch it after to the product team.
Yep, I've got to go show this to my product team. So I actually want them to actually interact with this as if they were the designers themselves. So I'm going to select my shape here because I want them to click on the decoration, the plus button. I want to then drag. So I'm over in prototype mode now. Happened very fast. It comes out of second nature to me. So I drag and drop. So now every object, right, has this decoration on it in prototype mode. Very similar to what we're showing here. That the decoration always shows up on everything. So I drag and drop there. And I'm just going to choose a basic dissolve because I don't want this sliding around, right? So then I'm here, and we've got these categories.
And you select just one.
We're going to select the fashion one from here. Okay. So then drag and drop us there.
So you see new pictures, and you see that the title is now fashion.
Yep. And so then here we are. And then
you select the second one.
We found the image we wanted. Boom. Okay. So now if you notice, we want to call this as our home screen. So this marking this little tab up here is really important. This is going to be when you send this prototype to your team. This is going to be the first screen they're going to see is anything that's marked with this home screen. That's a really important concept. So now we're going to go preview that. So here I am. With just a little note here. Hey, every object that has the plus icon, every object has this plus icon when it's selected. So I'm like, oh, what happens under the plus? Click on the plus. There's our little stock browsing UI. Now this is a fashion website, so we're gonna go click on fashion. All right, look at that. There's some great stuff from stock. I'm gonna add it right into my design. Boom. There you go.
It's so expressive. And let's say you want to show like the first stage.
Yep.
You have the placeholder and it's not selected.
Yep.
So you want the user to select it.
To select it.
So how would you add this?
Let's do that really quick. I think that's super. In design at the speed of thought. That's why I love. I mean, the minute I could design an XD full time, when that was ready for me to do it, when in the early days of the build, like I just couldn't wait because it allowed me to just work in this way, where my ideas just feel like they can come to life like so quickly. So now we'll go back to prototype mode, and we're going to change this now to our home screen, and we're going to. From here, when you click here,
then it's selected.
Then there,
and it becomes blue. And
yep. Maybe I'll even tell them,
select
the rectangle.
Yeah. You give some tips.
Yep. Yep. Just kind of help orient my viewers as they're coming in. So now, just like that.
Okay.
Yep. Now every icon has the plus icon.
And now you understand the call to action.
The whole flow. There it is. And we're going to select the fashion category. It's been added as our search term up here. And now I see this great image. It helps me get going in my web page design.
Awesome.
Just like that. And of course, on top of that, now I want to send this to my team.
Yeah.
And I'm going to publish this prototype, right? And I'm going to call this, what should we call this new feature? We always like to have like a new, like a catchy name.
Maybe they will find a catchy
name. Do you guys have a catchy name?
The catchy name for this new feature.
Yeah, what do you think?
It's like just finding an image and adding the image directly.
We'll call this project maybe inspiration. Hey Munir, always great to see you in the chat. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, hi Munir. Good to see you. Hey Lucas.
Project inspiration. Let's go with that for now. And then we're just going to publish that link out to the world.
And Jonathan is asking, does anyone know a good tutorial like video intro to Adobe XD? Actually, if you go on the Adobe XD page, so it's xd.adobe.com, there is always a Learn section with tutorials for beginners, really like getting started. We also, like when we go live and have a UX design week, so it will be the case in, not next week, but the week after. On Monday, you have on behance.net/live an evangelist, usually Paul Trani, making a 1-hour introduction about the tool of the week, so XD in this case. So
that's really great.
And the replays are available on behance.net/live. There is a replay section now, and if you search in the category UX UI, then you will see the getting started videos with Paul Trani. And usually he gives a lot of tips, and you see the full workflow.
Paul is great. Paul is great. I love turning into a stream. You guys go check him out for sure.
So that's the UI.
So here it is. We actually have it here on the web, and everyone here on the stream should go check this out. We'll get this posted in the chat here. This link to this prototype, so you can go actually test this yourselves. See what you think. Leave some feedback for me.
Yeah.
Love to see what you guys think of this new feature. So here we are. All right, everything has the plus. I click on that. I see now this little Adobe stock carousel. Click on fashion because I want to get some fashion imagery from my web page. Click there. Boom. Easy.
Boom.
Easy.
And now, yeah, and the community can vote.
Yeah.
On user voice, like, do you want to see this feature?
Want to see this feature?
But at least it's very expressive. Like, it's much more efficient than just like explaining in the paragraph. So imagine if you click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
you see how in 10 minutes you can have like something expressive.
I think did we meet the challenge today?
Maybe we should.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Be careful with that.
Yeah. Let me go.
Okay. Now we're safe. We're safe.
All right. I'm gonna Slack this over to Michael real quick, and he can post it in the chat.
Okay.
So you guys can go check out our prototype.
Yeah, I just got it. So
yep.
I will post the link in the chat. And so you can leave comment to Talin, and he will get back to the project.
Let me know. So go. You can also reference the link on the user voice request if you guys are interested in this kind of feature. All right. That was.
Yeah.
See, look at that, taking it back.
Awesome.
To the roots of the stream here, and always fun to design something live with you, Michael.
It was great, yeah. Thanks, Talin.
Yeah.
And
enjoy Paris.
Yeah, thank you, because next week we will be live from Paris with amazing guests, starting with Eric Spickerman, the typeface designer.
That's gonna be so cool.
The legend.
I wish I was there.
And we have a graphic designer. A graphic designer. We will have a motion designer doing some animated typography, and a UX designer working in XD. He will prototype a fictional app that deals with typography too, and you will understand why next week there will be a heavy focus on typography. But when you have Eric Spickerman, you can start guessing why.
Yeah.
So make sure to come back also every Friday.
Every Friday.
I saw that some people were discovering the show,
Such
as Yadira. So yeah, every Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific time, opportunity to chat with Talin and talk
team.
about the future of XD.
Next week, we're going to be talking about something really interesting.
Okay.
We're actually talking with my good friend Sean Cheris, who is the director of our brand team in Adobe Design.
I know what he's working on.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about our internal design system, the design system that we use to design XD. So,
it's super cool.
Tune in next week.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks everybody.
Talin.
Michael.
Thanks everyone.
Great to have you on.